Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Fox, and today I'm going to show you how I 3D printed and put together my 3/32 Ahsoka Trooper from the Clone Wars. For this tutorial, I'm using a file from Galactic Armory, and I actually used the file and printed it on my own 3D printer. But if you don't have a 3D printer or don't have access to a 3D printer, he does offer physical helmets on his website. Now, they do tend to go out of stock really quickly, so there is that, but you can always get on the email list to be notified when they're back in stock. And if you don't want to go that 3D printed route, there are some foam templates, surprisingly, for clone troopers. I found some from Stormtrooper templates and they look really cool. I actually may consider getting one and trying this out myself. So there are definitely a couple ways to go about getting this helmet for yourself. After about a week's worth of printing, I ended up with 3 pieces. I had the dome, the back of the clone helmet, and then the front mask part. As you can see underneath the bottom, I had a lot of issues with the print for whatever reason. I think it was something to do with temperature. Whatever happened, I was able to adjust the print and it finished fine. There just is a lot of rough stuff under that bottom, but don't worry, I'm going to be able to Bondo right over that and fix it up. Before I get to fixing all of those printer mistakes on the bottom of the front mask, I'm actually going to super glue all of the pieces together. This just gives the super glue a little bit of roughness to grip onto. Once everything is nice and roughened up, I take my helmet pieces over to my workbench and I start gluing everything together. You'll see here that one of the sides had a really big gap, and I think that was due in part to the print kind of going wonky like it did on the back. That's okay, I'm going to take my heat gun so I can force them into place. Looks really bad right now, but trust me, we're going to put so much Bondo on it that it's not even going to matter. After that's all aligned, it's just getting the dome on top. I always tend to misalign my dome, so just make sure you're taking your time. I like to slather on a lot of super glue, not really use any of that super glue accelerant until I've got it right in place where I want it to be, and then that's when I start to spray everything down to make sure that it's got a nice, secure bond. And as a final touch, I do like to go inside along the seams around the dome and down the sides with some super glue, just so that the bond is a lot more secure. Now it's time to fill in all of those ugly, messed up layer lines. Can we even call these layer lines at this point? I don't know what the heck happened here. What I'm using for this is Bondo, and this is the type of Bondo that's in a can with the hardener, and I'm mixing up small batches and I'm just going in and putting that everywhere that I see those messed up layers on the bottom. Right now the aim is to just get those filled in, and I can smooth that out with sanding later. And if your print didn't mess up, then you can skip this step entirely. Once that's finally dried, after about 20 minutes or so, I take my helmet out into the garage with my palm sander, and I just go at it with some 120 grit sandpaper, sometimes with 100 grit sandpaper, just trying to get everything smoothed down to the same level. This is definitely going to take a couple more passes of Bondo, but as I said, right now I'm just trying to get everything as level as I possibly can. Make sure you're wearing a respirator with this stuff. I really should be wearing gloves too, but you know, pandemic, glove shortage, really can't help myself there. All in all, I think I did about 3 to 4 layers of Bondo around the jaw area specifically. And again, if yours didn't mess up as bad as mine did, you really just need to put this Bondo on all the seams, so around the dome, around the sides where you glue things together, just to try and get everything down to the same level, because we can sand over Bondo a lot easier than we can over the 3D printed material itself. Now that all the layers of Bondo are cured and sanded down all nicely, I'm going over it with a makeup brush just to get all that dust off for the next step. I'm going in with a layer of automotive filler primer just so I can see where all of my mistakes are and where I really need to apply some more Bondo in the next step. Like I've said multiple times in this video already, this print was pretty busted up and requires a lot of body work to get through. So this filler primer is really serving the purpose of showing me all of the mistakes and showing me places where there needs to be more Bondo applied. And as you can see from this close-up, there is a lot more work that needs to be done on this helmet. A lot. So to get to work on this helmet, I'm using the Bondo that's in the tube, and this stuff is actually pre-mixed. It'll activate with the air once you start applying it, and I'm just doing it in small sections all over the helmet. This is a technique that I saw Galactic Armory use. He's the guy who also modeled the files for this helmet. And like I said, you don't have to have this primer here. This was really so I could see where I needed to do more work, and honestly, probably didn't need to do it because I just need to slather it everywhere. It is a complete travesty. This whole helmet is just a mess from top to bottom, but we're gonna get there. I let that Bondo sit for about 20 minutes, and then I came in and started to do some hand sanding. I definitely recommend doing hand sanding here because, at least for my palm sander, it was really ripping into the layers of the Bondo, and I just thought I was getting a much smoother finish whenever I was just going in with hand sanding. I'm using 200 grit and also 220 grit. I think if you go any lower than that, you're really going to risk gouging into the Bondo, and it's just not going to come off as smooth as you want it to. The aim here while we're sanding is to try and get all of those high spots down to the low spots. You're going to be taking off a lot of Bondo, and that's totally normal. Once I have the helmet sanded down to my liking, I'm hitting it again with another coat of that automotive filler primer. This again is going to show me where I need to apply more Bondo and where I also need to do a little bit more sanding. Once that filler primer is dry, I'm going back into all the problem spots with some more of that Bondo spot putty, going back in with some hand sanding, and giving it another coat of filler primer, and continuing with all three of those steps until I'm happy with the finish. Once my helmet is all sanded and primed to my liking, I'm going in with a base coat of white. I'm using Montana Gold Shock White here, but you can use any type of white that you like. Once that base layer is dry, I'm going in with some painter's tape and I'm masking off the parts of the helmet that I want to remain white. It's important to look at reference photos of the helmet and mask off the parts that are going to remain white as opposed to the parts of the helmet that need to be orange. It's kind of an inverted way of thinking, so just make sure that you're masking off the spots that you want to remain white so that the spots are exposed are going to be orange, if that makes sense. Now the most tedious part of this helmet, for me at least, was getting the Ahsoka markings on the top. I again used some painter's tape just to mask these off, and it took me a good hour and a half to get everything symmetrical and looking how I wanted it to. If you wanted to, you could spray the whole front orange and then freehand in these afterwards, but I just wanted to give masking a shot for this. After that was masked up, I took my helmet back out to my garage and sprayed it down with some Montana Gold Shock Orange. Again, you can use any color you like, this is just what I had on hand. I let that paint dry for about 4 hours and then went in with my X-Acto blade and started peeling everything off. This is probably my favorite part of masking. I hate how much time goes into having to mask everything, but whenever you're taking all the tape off, it's totally worth it. Once all the masking tape is up, I'm going back in with a paintbrush and some of that same spray paint that we use and just going over all of the white edges just to make it look a little bit more distressed. Next, I'm going in with a light gray and painting in all of the teeth. This is another area where I probably could have masked off this, but I just thought it was a lot easier to go in and freehand paint it. There's also this little nub area on the bottom of the chin that needs to be painted black as well. Then last, I'm going in with some black and painting in all those little vented areas on the chin. Once everything's dry, I'm going in with some 80 to 60 grit sandpaper and just roughing up all of the surface of the helmet. You can go as hard or as little as you want on this. This is essentially for a weathering effect, and I'm going pretty hard because spoiler alert, going for the effect of the very last scene in the Clone Wars. To add an even more weathered effect to the helmet, I'm going to be using what is called like a black wash. Essentially, I'm just taking some water, squirting some black acrylic paint into my Diego Luna mug, and then quickly going over it and wiping it down with a paper towel. This lets the wash kind of sit in all of those grooves and makes it look nice and dirty and grimy and nasty and like it's been sitting in the snow forever for Vader to find it and be really sad. And if you want to know what was happening below my feet during this was the Aries, who was afraid of the Memorial Day fireworks that were going on outside. The last step for getting this helmet ready is to get a lens inside of there. And what I do, and I do this for all the lenses in my helmets, is I take some painter's tape, put it on the inside where the lens is going to sit, and just trace around the edges with some Sharpie and cut that out. I then take this and use this as a template on the piece of lens material that I use. I'll link this material down below. It's basically just a welder's shield, and I think it was about $5 or $6. Once you have your template, I like to kind of give myself a little bit of leeway just in case if that's not exactly correct, and then I go in with some tin snips and cut it out. Once that's cut out, I just take some super glue and super glue it onto the inside of the helmet, and there you go. And here's the finished helmet. I also stuck some upholstery film up in there just so it's a little bit easier to wear with some hot glue. And here's the bottom of the front of the mask where all of those nasty print marks were, and as you can see, it's all nice and smooth. I really hope that this video helped you out in some way, and if you guys venture on to making your own clone trooper helmet, definitely leave a comment down below. I'd love to see your work. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below as well. And until next time, I will catch you guys later. Bye.